Welcome again to Sweet Omagh Town Internet Radio. I'm Don McGurgan, and across from me is the one and only Mr.
Declan Ford.
How the hell are you, Mr. Ford?
I'm very well, actually. Cold, but cold on the outside, but inside warm. The glow of Christmas
You've got
is
chill
seeping
blades.
through my bones.
You've got chill blades.
Oh, indeed. Well, what's on the agenda tonight?
The agenda tonight is, some time ago we had Mark McGrath out talking about the life and times of the families who moved into O'Kane Park.
Yep.
One of those families were the Bradleys.
That's
And the
right.
two brothers,
right.
Gerry and Brendan, came out to have a chat with us. And this is sort of an extended interview that they did on the night, and they kind of let us do this because those programmes were very, very popular, and this is just a slight extension on their life, just generally on the life and times of people in Omagh.
Yeah. And I think it's good because it expands the interview.
Yes, it
Because
does.
With the original O'Kane Park, you had to just put in snippets at times.
Yes.
Whereas this kind of can just more relaxed.
It is indeed. It's just banter, and it's almost the outtakes are there, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know the thing about that is some lovely interviews from people from O'Kane Park. We're just using these two at this instance. The other ones will follow in due course.
That's
You
good.
and I are of an age now. We're not fit to do it every week, Mr. Ford.
Absolutely not. We are old and grey and full of sleep. Oh, sorry, in your case, white and full of sleep. And WBS is a nodding by the fire, you know.
Yeah.
But I think the bottom line in all these interviews is everybody has a story to tell, and everybody has reminiscence, and I think the listeners can learn from the interviewees, from their stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I think when you touch on things like music or on entertainments or even just names from the past, it kind of can bring you magically back.
Yes. And the story about one housing estate in one town has resonated with so many other different towns,
Yeah.
because all housing estates were around in the Northern Ireland scene were all built around sort of the same decade and the same
right.
lifestyle. And the same type of families moved in from other places and settled down, and
Yeah.
and that takes a lot of doing. It takes a long time for people to settle in and become part of the town.
And I think the remarkable thing is the way a community grows up, around a park, and the way that the people will gel and will come together and that, and that it's going through the generations now, and isn't it amazing? When you look at, say, a project like Craigavon, where it did not really succeed at all,
Didn't work. No.
And yet, when housing estates were created as sort of separate entities, they worked.
Yes.
So it's not strange.
Strange it is indeed. Yeah.
You try to lump them all together,
yeah.
it doesn't work.
But I've often thought how kind it was of people to come out here and sit and talk
Oh yeah.
about that, because it's not all good, it's not all bad, but it's all very personal. It's part of your life. I am so thrilled and honoured that people come out here and have a chat with us and trust us, I suppose, for want of a better word, to have a chat about that. And it's nice because we're doing this longer than we care to remember, and the listeners grow every week, and they're not Omagh people. Most of them are actually have never set foot in Ireland at all, but yet they like to hear and they get a picture of what rural life is like.
But life in the little town of Omagh
Yes.
is really like,
Yeah.
and it's just through the ordinary stories that in their way are quite extraordinary, and that, as you said, is the honour, and we are so privileged
Yes, indeed.
to be just
Yeah.
those who recorded.
Okay, well, Gerry and Brendan, thank you very much for coming out and having a chat with us, and sit back for the next hour or so, enjoy the banter of O'Kane Park and Gerry.
And Brendan Bradley.
Goodbye.
We're talking about O'Kane Park, growing up in O'Kane Park, and we did the kind of the first inductees into the park, and now it's the sort of the next generation. Would that be right, Mark?
That's right, Phil. Declan, that's right.
Yeah. So
That was 20 years ago, Declan.
Yeah.
This is the 20th anniversary. 60 years this year, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
and any memories or anything? What would your earliest memories of O'Kane Park be?
Is it 60 years, is it?
60 years this year.
Well, my earliest memory would be Home Bargains, you know where Home Bargains is?
Yeah.
There was a stone wall there and it had a rounded cement top on it, you know. And I remember going out with my mother. We weren't in the house at the time, you know, but we were going out obviously to do something and walking up that road, and I run my hand along the whole thing, you know. I remember it being smooth as by the time I got to the end of the wall, you know. That's my earliest memory of O'Kane Park, you know.
And what age were you there?
I think it was maybe 4, sort of.
And
You
we
know?
moved in 64, Gerard, I think, didn't we?
Was it 64?
Because we
Yeah,
left
I
Abbey
would-
Street and we went up to live in Granny Devlin's in Fairmount Avenue.
Oh, did we?
We did. Well, I did anyway, yeah. I'm sure we probably would. Diane wasn't there, obviously. It was
Right.
just me, you and Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in Granny's for a while before Kane Park was even ready. So it was now. I mind that all right. But as for moving on, I don't mind much about it now.
Neither do I now.
So I don't have to tell you the truth now.
Yeah.
Don't mind much. Well, I was what? Well, you weren't even 4, Gerard, I don't think.
Wouldn't have been 4 then.
No,
but
you wouldn't.
my sums don't add up. If that was 60 years ago, Mark.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be 60, is that it?
No, 60 this year. It was built in
Right.
65.
Aye.
Aye.
So the houses were let, I think, September, October time.
Yeah.
And 65, Mark?
65,
Aye.
The rest of the park wasn't completed till 66.
Yeah.
That'd be for McCrory's and Cuskers and all that. That part wasn't.
I was only 3 then, if that's the case. Aye.
Yeah.
But I do remember it well. And I remember leaving Abbey Street, our old house there, and I was looking for a toy crocodile. Couldn't find it. We had to leave without it.
Where in Abbey Street was that?
Abbey Street.
It's now demolished, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know where St Vincent de Paul is?
Mhm.
There was an alley there which was River Row, and then the next row was Abbey Street. From there to the Hog's Head there must have been 5 or 6 houses.
5 or 6, yeah. Well, we were number 7.
Where
I
were
didn't
we?
mind that. 7 Abbey Street, a big green door. I mind more Abbey Street, but it was 5 than doing O'Kane Park, to tell you the truth. Yeah. I would mind more about Abbey Street now than O'Kane Park.
Could you paint just a picture with words, but just what the house in Abbey Street was like, and then what O'Kane Park was like in comparison?
Well, Abbey Street, I mind, you walked into Abbey Street and there was a small room to your right. I do mind that, because my father always had the Christmas tree up on it every year. What I vaguely remember. Straight ahead then, you went up the stairs and then there was a small kitchen. And that time there was actually range in it. Do you mind that, Gerard? No?
I don't remember much
And
about
then there
that.
was like a pantry on out the back. And then there was a backyard. And a shed on out the back as well now. But I do mind James McBride's shop there. And Mullen's shop also.
James, it was maybe the end house, was
That
it?
was the end house, aye.
So-
And then there was another lady there, Nellie Nugent. You remember her, Gerard? No? Nellie
Uh-huh.
Nugent was actually deaf and dumb.
Aye.
Her and her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do mind them very well. So I mind more about Abbey Street probably than moving into O'Kane Park back in 1964. Yeah.
Your first school was what, the Christian Brothers Primary then, was it?
It was. Yeah. Well, I wasn't in the new primary school, I was in the old one. Yeah. I mind the first day going to it actually. My mother had taken me up basically, and I wasn't in it 15 minutes, then I run straight back down the road and home. That's fact. I mind it as well, and she had to bring me up the second time. Yeah.
Was Harry Tipping there in those days? Can you remember?
Harry Scully?
No, there was a Harry Tipping. Or
No, I don't mind him. It was
I know.
brother Keenan he was the gaffer when I was there now.
Aye.
So he
Aye.
wasn't there back then. Yeah.
Was Brother Ellis there at all?
Don't mind him now, no. I don't mind him, to tell you the truth now. No. I don't even mind who taught us in first year at that
I
time.
met Brother Keane years later when I was doing teaching practice on the Glen Road in Belfast, you know.
Yeah.
But we had a quick chat just, you know.
Yeah, he was the principal then at that
He
time.
was,
now.
alright.
So he
He
was
used to
now,
dish
yeah.
out a few slaps, you know.
I remember he ended up in Armagh. I was teaching there, and he was there for a
Brother
short time.
King.
Yeah, Brother Keane. Yeah, nice man. He was very,
He was.
very kind of. He looked almost Italian or something.
Quite
just the-
distinguished looking he was.
Oh yeah.
Aye,
Yeah.
that's right.
I know members I have him often. He was very good, yeah. He seemed to be very, a nice man at that time, and I mean, he definitely was, yeah.
And he had aged well too, you know. He still had that sallow
Oh, that's right.
complexion,
Yes,
and
yes.
as you say, he looked a bit
Short
European,
grey hair
possibly.
and that, and that, you know. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Remember him well now.
He must have been very young then, Gerard, though, back then.
He must have been.
I mind him
I think
actually.
that's it. When you
He
look
was a
back,
young man now.
you know, anybody over 20 just seemed ancient. He as a child.
Aye,
Oh,
that's
that's
right.
right.
They did when you were that age. They were ancient, is right. They were.
You mentioned the shops. Can you remember, Brendan, what they sold? What kind of shops?
And down Abbey Street.
Aye.
Don't mind that much of it. There was actually another shop basically beside us was the Cares. Basically, now it was more like a front room shop. Caramel Care would have been one of the girls we would run about with. She lives in Centenary Park. Eileen was the fella, or mother, sorry. I can't mind what they called the feller.
Don't know, right?
Yeah.
Remember the apples in James and McBride's, you know? You know those apples with the blue tissue paper? And the smell of them, you know? Apples don't smell like that anymore.
Yeah.
Those apples too, you got them in the cinema as well, of course. You know, that was the only other place you've seen them. And the wee kiosk. Yeah.
Was James's shop? It was on Castle Street. It was.
James's was, I think, the last one, and the Hog's Head would have been across the
At
street
the Hog's
then.
Head side, basically, just as
You
right.
know,
James and McBride's is right,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Johnson was there as well, Peter Johnson. Yeah, the Johnsons, yeah, they were definitely somewhere in that row as well, Gerard. Yeah, they were.
And there was Gallagher's as well. Castle Street. Remember them? They had a shop.
Gallagher's. Don't mind that now.
Yeah.
And then Mullins was on up a wee bit, and actually Gordon's was there too, I think.
Yes.
So we weren't sort of allowed up that area, and that's you didn't really go past the entry. You were around River Row. I remember Mrs. Fittis was there. It was actually old Granny Fittis, and you weren't past the house down near the river. She was sitting out keeping an eye on the whole thing now, big time. She really was. Martin Fittis, and there was George Fittis, and do you mind them, Gerard? No, Martin actually was a nurse in the TNF, I think, wasn't he? Maybe. But it was his granny.
Yes.
Would have kept an eye on us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Met one of them at Mass in Christ the King about 10 years ago, that lady, one of those ladies, and she says, I remember your grandfather, Wild Cuto, she said. And I remember the night he died, he says, we saw Cuto's wrath. She says, down the back lane behind the house. I had to go home and find, what was Cuto's wrath? That's ghost or spirit, you know, is what she was calling it.
Yeah.
She said, we seen Cuto's wrath down the back of the house. So,
Almost like the Banshee.
something like
That
that.
idea.
Aye,
That idea.
yeah.
There's the
Aye.
forewarning, you know.
Yeah.
Were the Bradleys and Omagh family, Gerard, as well, or were they?
You know that house, how many Bradleys were there?
Do what, Gerard?
How many Bradleys were there in that house, Brendan?
Well, it was, we reckon 16, maybe 17. But obviously not all at the one time. Dawn had,
Yeah.
the older ones had all moved to America. So probably my fellow Gerard was the last one. Obviously he didn't go.
Aye.
And Jimmy, they were all gone by that, like. So they
16
were now.
children.
But there
was
was 16,
unreal,
17
wasn't it?
children there down there over a period of, I don't know how many years. Yeah. There was. My father at that time had the boxer dogs as well out the back.
Yeah.
Back in the early 60s as well. Now I mind the Breda Irish was the two boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mind them there vaguely as well now.
I think my only memory is eat turkeys out there, rearing them for Christmas, 2 turkeys though. And then, of course, at Christmas time, they'd
Yeah.
go out and wring their neck, and the flapping was unreal. It scared the life out
Well,
of
they
me.
had them in
Two
O'Kane Park
birds.
as well, Gerard.
I
No,
don't
we had
remember
them.
any of
They
them.
had them in O'Kane Park too, yeah. We
Really?
definitely had, no, aye. Yeah. A couple of weeks before Christmas, Mark, maybe a week. They come obviously live, like. So he done the business, and whatever he had to do.
Dispatched.
Yeah. Dispatched them.
But should they could all do it down there because there was a what? Was there a
There were turkey sales down in Castle Street, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a turkey run down the whole street where there hundreds of birds would be coming down the street. You know?
Yeah.
Like a turkey drive.
The turkey drive, I have seen photographs of that.
Turkey drive in Castle Street. Aye, that's
Turkeys,
right.
Gerard, maybe it was more than turkeys, was it?
And then they would be all hired for plucking, you know, and they would pluck, I don't know. I'm sure
And
you've
you
heard.
talked then about the 1950s, 1960s.
Well, this is my father's generation.
On your father's
that,
house generation,
Uh,
then that would be in the 40s and the 50s, wasn't it? Even before that.
would have been the 50s, I suppose, when they were
50s, I
doing
would say,
stuff like
Jordan.
that.
After the war, I say, yeah. Then Gracie's, they were the main distributors of foul and stuff in Omagh at that time, weren't they?
They were
They were-
down beside the brothers, weren't
they were at that
The
time,
brothers,
yeah.
the brothers school, then.
They were indeed.
Well, then, when you went to O'Kane Park, what are your first memories of being in the park, in the house, and the friends that you palled about with?
I see that. It probably took a while to get friends, I would say, at that time, Gerard.
Aye.
The house obviously was very modern now compared to what we left, you know. So it was now. It was very modern now.
Uh-huh.
Definitely was.
I know, I can't remember much, but the photos there, you see, where everything was so clean, wasn't it? And so
There
neat.
was no
and,
fences or
you know,
no. We
and-
might looking at the photos to going back. There was obviously no fences, no
Yeah.
gardens, no flowers, no nothing. It was very, very bare of itself, wasn't
It
it?
was.
Basically, yeah,
Oh, it was.
very bare of itself now.
It was new and fresh, wasn't it? Just and clean. And
Yeah. So the early memories probably would be quite vague, to tell you the truth,
Uh-huh.
Declan. To be honest, now, I suppose if we sort of really got to know people. Yeah.
And that would have been just through school and that? And
Probably
palled
through
about
school, I
and-
would say, yeah. Probably through school, yeah. I just, the very early memories now, I wouldn't be, I just don't recall much about them now.
No,
So
you
we
remember
played
them
the
more maybe when you got up a wee bit, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
We started to muck around as
Aye.
boys, you know.
Aye.
And you get into wee groups then, you know.
Yeah.
And were there gangs as such, or was it just a crowd of friends together? You know, or can you remember? How many would you have palled about with?
Well, there was a bunch there, all right. No, wasn't there? I mean, there was a good bunch of people of around the same age there, you know. I mean, Brenton's what, 2 and a bit years
Mhm,
older than me,
yeah.
and that was the sort of age group, you know. From the bigger boys were a wee bit older, down to myself, I suppose, and a wee bit below that age too, you know. But of course, 2 years at that time,
Yes, it's a lot
It's-
now, so it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
significant, isn't it?
That was, yeah.
Aye.
There's a lot now.
Yeah.
But there was a great bunch,
Mm-hmm.
with the Muldoons and all, the Hills, the McGraths.
And all related through football, just playing football together and mucking in like that.
Played loads of games, Declan, you know.
Aye.
I mean, every time I go out to O'Kane Park, I think, that green, look at the size
That's
of
right.
it.
That's right.
Used to be massive, you know.
I thought it was huge.
There would have been you would have had maybe 15 or 20 boys playing football on it, wouldn't you? And
We had outland fields then too, Declan, because there was nothing else there. So the cornfield, as you would know, Mark, was a very popular field. Like we run about it for a lifetime basically,
Uh-huh.
sleighing up and down it. And there was obviously on up the Drumore Road, you had a lot more going on up there as well, because there was basically nothing there.
Aye.
You had Bobby Rogers' house on one side and your man Graham on the other side. You mentioned the lake the other night down too, Gerard.
Reggie Graham, there's a lake
that
up
was Reggie,
there.
is right, yeah. And then with the plantation, as we called it.
And thinking about that now, what was the plantation? Was it just a few trees or
It
what?
was like a quarry, just used quarry basically. Like.
There was the plantation,
That was
there was the swamp, there was the forest, there was
That's
two
right, there
lakes, you know.
There was 2 lakes, yeah.
The car dump, we called it, Mark, at the bottom of Culmore Park, you know. There's all these areas, and we played in them all, Declan, you know.
Because it was very sparse. There was absolutely nothing else. So
Yeah,
it wasn't.
you weren't really in the town at that stage,
We
were
were
you?
in the country.
That was the border,
So
wasn't it?
we were, yeah.
We were the last outpost there.
We were basically in the country. I
You
presume
were.
them fields in O'Kane Park belonged to Joe Cunningham, did they, Mark? Do you know that? No. Well, Joe just lived across the road, didn't
Probably
he?
did, you're right enough.
So we didn't know. Well, I think the cornfield Joe would have basically harvest silage and whatnot off of her back then. Even I think it was Joe owned that old cornfield and whatnot. That's where Spurn Park's built there now, Declan. So it was me, yeah. And then you had a way on up right over as far as Simpson's.
Right.
Simpson's Oil House, which we would have run about as well years ago.
Simpson's old house, what do we call the actor that
Harry McElhenney.
Harry, is it?
McElhenney.
Harry McElhenney.
That's right.
Seemingly was about
I
it
think
then, but
he
it
was about that house at a while.
I think he was born there.
There was a connection anyway, Mark, wasn't there?
yeah.
Although it was derelict when we were growing up, but we used it well for running about, and
Yeah.
there was a barn in it too with straw, you know, and
Uh-huh.
there was a spring, and of course there was a load of pear trees in the garden.
That's right, the main
You know,
pear trees
you
right
used to
on
get
the
the
spring
pears.
too, yeah. Yeah. That spring's just on the entry still they still use that entry down to Lambrick, that's where I actually live. Basically I would actually live maybe we just talked about this about 100 yards from Simpson's old house. Basically, yeah.
Right, my goodness.
Yeah. So back up to where we were basically playing about.
And there was a ghost in it, of course.
Oh yes.
Simpson's ghost.
Did anybody ever see the ghost or hear the ghost or?
I think I did. No. Everybody thinks they've seen these things, you know. As I was saying to Brenton on the way in too, I says, "Do you remember the mystery man?" From time to time, a mystery man would appear. Someone or some people would claim to have seen the mystery man at the top of the park or at the bottom of the lane, you know. But and we'd all run around terrified because there was a mystery man. But that was it. You're nodding there, Don. Have you heard the term before?
I've heard the time before in Corporation Park. He must have travelled around the parks. Must have done a stunt in the mall because there's always a mystery
I always
man.
imagined he had a big long black coat, you know,
Yeah,
and a hat.
it was a good deterrent to keep you in the house when your parents wanted you really gone
Aye,
outside.
mystery
It was,
man.
yeah.
You'd be in early that
Yeah,
night.
that's right, yeah. And my mother said, yeah, there's a mystery man at the bottom of the park, they don't be going too far, and
Yeah,
Right.
you're back in the house. You know.
that's right.
The bogeyman just is the idea.
Something like that is right, aye.
Well, it would have been the games would have kept us together, but the music had played a big part in it as well.
Uh-huh.
So it didn't we? Basically, didn't we? runs the music big time now. I think I mentioned to Mark, but Izzy Muldoon had a radio. She was the gaffer, and it was every Sunday. Like we met at the side of, but it was Denise Turney's house then, waiting on the top 30. Like that was the, you had to be there on a Sunday night, 6 o'clock, to hear who was going to be number one. Mind that as well. So we're doing now maybe 10 or 12 of us.
Right. Was this in a wee transistor?
Oh, this was a Izzy had a ghetto blaster, like it was
a
the
big,
business.
it was a big thing.
No, it was a big.
I don't know if she carried it on her shoulder or not, but it was a large,
It was,
big
yeah.
radio, 2 speakers, you know.
Wow.
Definitely so. So the music had played a big part in it as well now. So
Your whole life and your whole childhood, doesn't it? It brings you right back if you hear a song of that time. You
Yeah.
straight back.
big time is right now. Yeah,
That's right.
that's
When you're talking about connections with songs, there was a wee record player, you know, wee single one, not the top loader one, that Johnny McCusker owned, and you would borrow it, Brendan, an odd time. I think it was the only record player in the
it
park,
was. Yeah, I would say it probably was.
and Johnny would lend it out. So, and there would have been a wee bunch of singles with it too, you know. And to this day, when I hear a song, I say, going up around the bed, my Creedence Clearwater Revival, I say Johnny McCuskers. There's a Marmalade Obladio at Paggy Hill, you know. And there's a few others that have slipped my mind, you know,
Yeah,
but
right.
because they bought the single and it became part of the wee stash, looking
Yes.
around with a record player, you know.
Of course.
Raw Dancer, Marmalade, Paggy Hill, Brenton as well, I think.
Yeah.
But
And the
aye.
two stick in my mind's Resurrection Shuffle, Ashfield Gardner and Dyke.
Dyke, that's right.
And
That's all.
Ride a White Swan by T-Rex, because I gave them to Packy Hill to go to a party one night. I'll never forget it. I never got them back. To this day, I'll never forget
But
Packy
they-
Hill for that there.
Music had a value in those days, Brent, didn't
Two
it?
treasured singles,
Oh,
like,
but yeah.
you know, treasured. Never got them back again. You know, but that's one I do remember very well.
Yeah.
So it is now, yeah.
To get to a house party was something else with a record player on it,
Yeah.
and music like that.
Yeah.
Boy, it was,
And that was it. Like,
wasn't it anticipation?
Yeah.
Oh, I have on the wee record player was a real novelty, and it was. You got it for a couple of nights.
So we all
You know?
congregated around Johnny's basically, because he was into the only man had the record player, Mark. Basically was Johnny.
But it was very generous of him to lend it out.
And
Yeah.
went-
You know,
Was
yeah,
indeed.
knowing that
absolutely
they,
was.
God knows what condition the
Yeah.
45s would return
God
in.
knows what they were
Or the
like.
needle.
Right now. Yeah. But I think they did go around for a couple of days all right. Like.
Yeah, it did
they
indeed.
Until we were lucky enough to get one ourselves, then we were grand.
Aye.
Yes.
Santa eventually brought you one, Brenton, now? With
Santa brought me one, right?
Can
He
you
did.
remember what Santa brought?
He bought, well, I just remember it was, you could have put 3 or 4 singles on it at the one time, which was just super.
And they were just
Yeah.
thumbs down.
And an AC/DC album come with it.
Oh,
If You Want Blood, back in 1971, 72 maybe.
Right.
Yeah, and I still have that album to this day. Treasured album, yeah.
Oh.
And obviously that was my introduction to
Is
AC/DC.
it?
I followed them to
yeah.
probably until the present time. Basically is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even
Music did play a big lot on it as well now.
Was there such a thing as a record hop? Did that ever?
Well, the CKS would have run a few of them all right now, they would have, aye.
And that was basically like a disco, you know, but with just
without the lights.
without the lights and maybe
Yeah.
without all the equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the CKS, when did the CKS actually open? Mark, you would know that, wouldn't you?
76.
76, well, maybe the younger ones, we would have been sort of more advanced than the record hops by that stage, Declan, now.
You're
We
more
would have been-
into the live
We
music.
would have been jumping about the coach in probably at
Yeah.
16 years of age, in all fairness now, yeah. If you remember it, Jared, do you know?
Well, the discos and the CKS were fantastic. Mark.
Yeah.
They were great,
Uh-huh.
you know.
And then
Right away.
for live music, then was it in your teen years that your latter teen years you started to go out to hear the live music?
I probably was that. Well, I had I was very lucky to go and see Thin Lizzy and the Royal Arms in 1973.
I was there.
I was there, and I was only, I was 13. I was very lucky to be there, actually.
Right.
But I wasn't that. That was the first night that Gary Moore, as far as I mind. Am I not right in saying that? Played with them, yeah. Eric Bell through the Wobbly in Belfast. And that was the first night. It was only a 3-piece band at that
That's right.
stage. That was the first night I think that Gary Moore actually played with Thin Lizzy.
Right.
It was 1973. Well, that gig in the Royal Arms, yeah.
Realised that they stopped in Mountfield in Mina's shop
Oh, did
for a
they?
packet of cigarettes.
Oh, flute.
And you'll now meet people up in Biddy Pa's bars and say, I remember the night filled in it, came to Mountfield, you know.
There you go now.
So
Yeah.
that's to buy the cigarettes in Mina's shop.
Uh-huh.
Because I remember Paddy Grugan was playing maybe with the Sweeneys down in the Barrel and Basket
Uh-huh.
that night, and I went up to see Paddy playing folk music, and then up to Thin Lizzy, and then back down again then to see
Mhm.
Paddy
Yeah.
Grugan.
What a night that was.
What a night that was, from one extreme to the other.
Marvellous.
Well, back then you were a Thin Lizzy fan or you were a Rory Gallagher fan. Whenever Dino McGartlin arrived in Culmore Park, he introduced everybody to Rory Gallagher. Well, Rennie Byrne was a big Gallagher fan too.
If you go back to Johnny McClusker, but Johnny, their wee bands, Johnny and Dino and Tommy Muldoon, Stax.
Was his right. Johnny was the keyboard player, yeah.
Johnny played keyboards, and
He
I
did.
was that it? Johnny and Dino and somebody else.
Harry.
Oh, sorry, you're
was
Harry.
Harry in it,
was
wasn't
Harry the drummer in it, was
Harry
he?
was guitarist.
Was he? Who was the drummer?
Was he, Mark?
And Dino Yarton was the drummer.
Or Dino the drummer?
Yeah, aye.
Wouldn't have remembered that now.
He made the drums out of plastic. They were like an oil,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
drum of oil,
Uh-huh.
and then they put the plastic over that's how the
I know the kits were expensive in those days, weren't they? They were nearly out of reach for
Yeah,
people, you know.
Totally out of reach.
They could get a
Working class
guitar,
people.
but not a drum kit, you know.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you were Joe Colby. But I remember Johnny spraying the boots silver, you know, the platform boots, because it was sort of sweet, the glam rock thing had kicked in, you know. And he had the platform, zip up the side platform boots sprayed silver. that was some hip fashion accessory there now, wasn't it? You know.
But they must have run buses to the Ulster Hall from Omagh, because my brother Gerard went to see
Aye.
Rory Gallagher a few times in the Ulster
No, we
Hall.
never, Declan. Like it was years and years since we were ever in Belfast now.
Aye.
I mean, be flute 17, 18 before I even ventured. I think it was in Dublin before it was in Belfast,
Right.
to tell you the truth. No, we just never ever ventured up that part of the world at all
Right.
now. No.
Right.
It wasn't. It was just round the town. Declan being the Barn and Basket, obviously, a great music venue.
Uh-huh.
Well, obviously, it knocked them all in the coach in.
Uh-huh.
Basically, that would have been three
Bundoran
main hunts now.
was the first adventure, probably. You know,
Bundoran
to see
would have
horse
been too.
slips.
There was the horse slips, obviously.
You know.
Yeah.
In the Astoria?
Uh-huh.
That's the story. Yeah, that was what, in early mid-70s,
70s.
I would say. Yeah, would have been, yeah, mid-70s.
The mud in the Astoria. And I remember names like Jimmy Slevin. Do you remember him, the guitar player? Or Freddie White?
I remember Freddie
Remember
White.
Freddie
All right
White,
now,
all
aye.
right, yeah.
I do. Yeah,
Mhm.
I do, man. But some of the coach and so many bands away back then too.
Bronco
Basically.
never played there.
Aye.
Spike maybe might have played there as well.
Yeah, well, obviously the band that we would have followed at that time was Toe Jam,
That's right.
because Pee Wee and Mickey as Casper would have been big buddies with them. So they would have played Barn and Basket, and the boys would have always played beforehand.
And they were a three-piece, weren't
So
they?
they were three-piece.
Yeah.
Jerry Anderson played the bass.
Jerry
Was
Anderson,
bass,
yeah.
remember,
He was the bass player.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
God, yeah, I think the names they got. Spud was another
Yeah,
group.
Spud.
They were sort of, and their horse lips being.
They were.
Uh,
And you had a band called Mushroom.
Mushroom, that's
Remember
right. They
Mushroom
were a
played the Royal
three-piece
Arms?
as well,
They
yes.
were, yeah. Well, then they all when you used to mention the hop, it wasn't really the hop deck. I mean, going to the INF on a Sunday. Don't you remember that? Going to the Patsy McCormick would have run live bands now on a Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, long before the INF got a bar on, basically. And I knew that was a big thing. So it was now, yeah, a big thing. What bands played it now, but it was maybe the first introduction to live music. Basically, probably mid-70s. So it was now, yeah.
Mhm.
They had some great bands now.
And then
Good bands.
in John Street was country music would have been the music of choice. Was it O'Neill's Pub? Did they?
Well, frankly, didn't have a lounge. It was when John McGear brought it, and then he opened it. There was a Tuesday night, maybe like an Irish.
Tuesday night, that's right.
Was a big night in John Street, and then the Coach Inn ran midweek as well.
There's only older ones out of. I know my mother and father.
Yeah.
But I went to the Coach now on
That's right.
Tuesday night. Fiddler's
Yeah,
night it was
yes,
called.
right, that's right, that's
And
right.
Mrs. Bracklin and John Bracklin next door. They definitely went. Mr. and Mrs. McCrory would have been about it down there too. So it would have been quite a few would have went to the Coach on a Tuesday night. Basically, it was a big night down there now.
And then the
Of course,
Knocknamo, of course, would have attracted the big crowd at the weekends.
It did. Big time out
Mickey
there.
Moore did it.
Yeah, Knocknamo was the business alright now, aye.
And then
Definitely was.
begins the Village Inn.
Never a village
You
in
would
man
never
now.
venture out that
Never a
far.
village, never ventured that far now, no. We weren't Killyclare people.
No.
Knocked the Moes as far as you went. Basically, now that's just the way it was now.
Yeah,
Aye, we just
yeah.
never done the McGinnis thing now, no.
Funny, I was talking to I was talking to Peter Bennett last night. You know, Peter used to the
Yes.
chip van.
The chip,
I
He,
know, I
he
guess.
used to have the chip van out Knocknamo, and he talked about it.
I know
But he-
Peter, surely.
But he says the guy that painted the sign on the chip van was yourself, Ger.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
we
did do Pete's van, that was right.
yeah, you are.
Yeah.
But Pete used to have a wee chippy at the coach. didn't he?
That's exactly talked about it. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Aye.
That's right. That's McBride's would have owned it, or whoever owned the coach in,
Aye,
maybe.
McBride,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Because we would have come down from the coach and that,
That's right.
obviously down the steel stairs, like, and Pete would have just, and you went to the chippy, like,
Mhm.
you made us sat there at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, like, chatting and yarning and eating chips and whatever else we were at, like. Yeah,
That's it.
we definitely did. We
You know,
did.
it's strange. I was talking to Peter last night about his memories and stuff, and I would have helped him in the chip van before I got married out to make extra money. You know.
Yeah.
And Mary, the wife, hope she's
Yes.
happy. She ran a tick. You could get chips and tick on Friday night, and maybe getting paid the fall on Saturday, whatever it is.
But he also had the chip van at the bottom, knocked him out.
Yeah, so I was saying for years he had it. Yeah, that's
I
right.
minded as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, and very busy it was too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh.
very busy now.
And then what about the arms? Would you have been about it, Royal Arms at all?
Would have been about it fairly often too, Declan, now we would. Yeah, we'd have. Well, that's where I met my wife Sunday, actually.
Right.
So we did basically, yeah, I would have met Sunday there. She was the cook in the Royal Arms for a lifetime. So yeah, so that's where I met my good lady.
Bogans didn't have music at all.
No, Bogans didn't have music either now. The coach probably would have been one of the better ones up the stairs now.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, yeah.
Jim Armstrong would have played up there too, you know, that's a good name. Some of the Belfast
That's
bands
right,
would have
right,
come
the
in.
Belfast
Jim
bands is right,
Armstrong
yeah.
and Skidoo, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, Rob Strong would have been around too, Brett.
Well,
all
Rob
the
would have played
time.
it probably is right quite often, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then after that, then you had Sally's would have run a good show basically. Remember they had the basement down the stairs, Declan?
Yes.
There would have been some mighty bands here now. The one band comes to mind big time was Quarterdeck.
Yes.
They were a super band. They would have played there regularly. Like, they were actually quite a big band.
Where were they from? Was it-
Quarterdeck, they were all over as far as I mind, but they were further. I know Shawnee McCarran, I think, was he originally a Strabane man? Shawnee was the sax player.
They're all over the place. They're all over the shop.
I don't know where, I
That's
can't
right.
remember where the girl was from. It was a girl singer. Percy, who played with them? Percy what? Was a famous, an Irish guy, very good musician. I can't mind what his name was now, but they were a super band. Aye. Bogus Brothers, English band, used to come across, played it quite often. Mighty Horn Section, they were a super band, Bogus Brothers now, yeah. Yeah. That was another good venue now. So that was before Fally's was revamped. You went down a big flight of stairs to it.
And then would you have frequented the wine lodge at all?
Didn't frequent the wine lodge now.
Yeah.
No. Definitely didn't. It depends which wine lodge you're on. There's actually no
Wine
be
lodge.
quite truthful with
The,
you.
the wine lounge was the county bar. It was a lounge
County
above
bar.
the county bar, which would have been. There was a record shop then years later on. That's where McGuigan's Solicitors would have been
Oh,
in later
yeah.
years.
There was a wine lodge down the riverbank too.
Oh.
Wasn't there?
Could have been, right?
Yeah, there was a wine.
Slightly different clientele.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what I thought you were talking
No,
about.
no,
Declan. He didn't smile Declan there, so I know he's definitely on about something else. now.
Yeah.
No, I mind the wine. I do mind the wine lodge now down the riverbanks, basically. Down fishing with I know Paul, the boys.
That
would
was
have
an
been,
open air kind of thing, wasn't it?
Well, there was a wee bit of a.
Was on plein air, yeah.
Yeah.
The vintage was Mickey Special.
The wine lodge is right. Yeah. Yeah.
Never tried it now, but it seemed to be popular, you know. Mickey Special
That's
from Gormley's.
like a garbage. Yes, I know the dregs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Um,
I don't know.
No, definitely no wine lodge now. No.
uh-huh.
What about your school days? What do you remember most of them, or do you remember?
The school days.
Yeah, do you remember at your first day at school? You do because you headed home
And
early.
the brothers, well, as I say, the primary one, yeah, I did do a runner now. First year in the grammar, don't mind much about it now. No, not really. I just wasn't really fond of school. Maybe would that be the way I put it? It was grand maybe for a few years, and then it's just went ape shit maybe after that. I would say that's. So no, I was more interested in being down the river fishing with Jerry Paul, a rhino, than I was basically with school. Basically, and I would have worked in the shop in O'Kane Park. Just going back to O'Kane Park again. My uncle had a shop there, Patsy's shop. So it was just home from school, and basically a change and just down to the shop time. You worked. That's just what you done. Well, if you didn't work, you got no money. So there was no coach in there, no whatever it was. Basically, if you didn't go to Patsy's to work, you know. So.
And what kind of hours did the shop open?
Well, the old shop would have opened, well, I'd say probably 9 in the morning, wouldn't it? Maybe to 9 or 10 at night now,
I think
basically.
it was 10, you know.
Huh?
I think it was 10.
No, it would have been around 10, yeah.
Mhm.
So I would have worked there after school, and probably more than likely all day Saturday.
And
There
it
was-
closed on Sunday, or did it open on Sunday?
I don't think it opened
Closed-
Sunday.
Closed
Aye,
Sunday,
it did
Declan.
close on Sunday, aye.
Definitely.
So that was back. That was in the early 70s now.
Mm.
72 right on up to maybe 75,
Right.
basically. Because they do mind the decimal currency changing, and all the older ladies in the park were just very confused with the whole thing now. You know, we would have been taught probably for a bit of it at school, but now a lot of the older
Right.
women round the park, they
Oh,
just couldn't get their head round it at all.
They were still pound shillings and
So
pounds.
look, aye, it was a big difference now. So it was now.
And you're obviously
Yeah.
trying to fleece them as well when you're
Aye, well,
converting. On their mind.
well, I probably did think that was
Yeah.
right now, aye, but yeah. But I do mind that for some reason or other now. Aye, it was quite difficult for them now.
Yeah.
So it was now, yeah. It was quite difficult.
You obviously passed your level plus, both of you, and you both went to the brothers, did you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we did indeed. We did. How it ever happened, I have no idea, but it happened anyway.
No private tuition in those days.
There's no private tuition in them days now. So there wasn't, I was right.
Yeah.
There wasn't, but we got there somehow or other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
The burn used to run round the shop there, close to the shop. That was a good source of entertainment for us all in O'Kane Park.
I the burn, we
A
had
stream,
burn
you know, the
Right.
burn as we called it.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
And now you would jump the burn was a great activity for us, you know.
yeah.
And there were certain points that you could jump, you know, narrower ones and bigger ones. And again, like the mystery man, you could always hear so and so could jump that one over there, but nobody else could, you know. Do you remember that, Mark?
I do indeed.
I think Pierre McGartlin was very good at jumping the burn. You know, he would have been doing the big jumps.
Uh-huh.
Them jumping from one shed to another was a big thing as well.
Jumping the hedges.
Jumping the hedges, right?
And the burn was partially piped. You know,
Right.
pipes must have been, what, 3 foot wide?
That was over easily.
And we had got up the pipes, as we called it.
That's right, we did.
You know, so from the shop there, which you were talking about, Brian, we'd go up the pipes right up to where that nursing home is now.
Yes, it was
Come out the other end.
McMillan's
So you were
old house
walking
then.
like a up the pipes.
When you say go, you were actually inside the pipes.
Oh, we
aye.
did regularly, aye.
Oh, aye.
Oh, absolutely. We were right up to the far side of it. Basically, you did indeed, yeah.
So there's obviously they piped the burn off through the park, you know. So we went up there between Culmore and O'Kane Park, which would have been our play area too. I mean, when Culmore Park came, we lost the swamp. Was
We
gone.
did.
It was gone completely. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember coming home from school and had started Culmore Park. They started the new road, you know, because it was just at the gable of Mickey Mullen's house.
Yes.
And I thought, what's going on here? You know, they're ragging our place. You know, digging it up, marked all those pegs in the ground, and that was the beginning. The swamp was gone then. But sure, we used to have some crack in the swamp.
We did indeed.
Tommy Muldoon's dad was an army man. He came home in the big army truck. You know, he worked in the camp, and he was bringing home stuff, ropes for us,
That's right, Gerard. Aye. It was indeed.
tarps, big canvas tarps. You know, I mean the ropes, were tars and swings all over the swamp. You know, so
That's how you crossed
fantastic.
it, basically, wasn't it?
That
On
was
the
a-
ropes. You cross it, you basically would have crossed them at that particular
Oh,
time, like,
that's
yeah.
right. So it was.
That's right, yeah. We did.
And the tarps were well used for building huts and the roof of the hut and so on, you know.
Uh-huh.
And they seemed to have loads of timber too that you would use for different things, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And for making huts. And
Making the huts and various things.
And when you call it the swamp, thinking about it now, what was it? Was it just like bogland? Or?
I think so, Declan.
Yeah.
Aye.
But
yeah.
to a child, it's
Uh-huh.
there's maybe possibly even alligators or crocodiles in it, you know.
Well, it was the
Full of
swamp,
crocodiles,
and that
I
was
would
the
say.
plantation, and that was the forest, and that was the car dump.
God knows what else was in it now.
Do you know, I was in the plantation one day, myself and I think it was Maggie Tracy. It was sort of dancey foliage bit, you know. We were dandering around, we came upon Joe Babb and Willie Kelly, and they'd cut a tree down, a big tree, and they were hollowing it out with 2 hatchets to make a dugout canoe. You know, I think the 2 boys were stripped to the waist, beating away and chipping away to make a dugout canoe, just chipping the whole inside out of the tree. And I don't know how long they were at it for, you know. But I believe they eventually got it into one of the wee lakes, or Reggie Graham's lake, and it just, there was nothing to keep it upright, you know. It just spun them.
Basically.
But not everywhere you go when you find someone making a dugout canoe
No,
in the 1970s,
No, big heart to do that. Yeah.
you know.
Well, and tell me then, what about other, ones from other parts of the town? Would they have ventured into O'Kane Park, maybe for football matches, or would there been any kind of connection with we were talking to the Muldoons about the motorbikes.
Well, the bikes would have been a big thing now then,
Aye.
basically. A lot of the Derry Road lads would have come up on the bikes now. So I know, were you under the bikes, Jared, even then? Were you? Do you mind all that
No,
happening?
I was too young for that.
Well, I
Like
do
it.
mind all the bikes now. I had the Mac and Hills there, and Tommy had the bikes, Brian Sticks McCann, Manicky Sharkey, Joe Durry, Rocky Tandem. They all would have congregated now, basically, in around the park. The bikes was a big thing then. So, well, your man Jimmy Gately had a motorbike shop up Coolnagar Lane. A lot of people probably wouldn't remember that. But Jimmy Gately, and I think it was your man Alan, one of the Allen brothers, opened up one of Joe Cunningham's sheds back, don't know when, that was maybe mid-70s again. So it wasn't, so the bikes was a big thing then.
But they wouldn't have raced. It would have
Well,
been.
they were up and down that Dromore Road now quite hard. That's been quite honest with you know that. Well, that was one of the things, you were sort of standing at the gable like, and the boys were giving it the wally like, and that would have been it like, big time. The biggest lunatic on a motorbike as far as I remember it was Sticks McCann. Sticks was completely nuts. That's what that man was. Yeah, totally off the rails altogether on a bike now. Yeah, that man had no fear at all now. So he had absolutely no fear basically, but the bikes was a big thing then too now. Yeah, a big thing now. Yeah.
So then, at what age would the young fellas have got involved in the bikes? In the late teens or early 20s?
When you could afford one.
When you could,
That basically would have been the bottom line. I didn't have a motorbike because I couldn't afford one, unfortunately. So I couldn't. But if you could afford a bike, that was the done thing. You bought a bike now. You did. Most of the boys had bikes now. Well, that would have brought the Ardmore fellas down as well. You Raymond Doody and Dutch McAleer on the bikes, and I say you had the Derry Road guys then would have come up and whatnot, you know.
And there to compare models and skills.
That was just that thing, yeah, as they do today. There's big bikes about today, and you just chant bikes basically like them. But before that, we all had push bikes, and like we done some tramping about the roads and push bikes, like out to Loch Muck, swimming all the time, regularly.
And when you on your push bike, did you get a sort of a hand me down from an older generation, or did you get something that was?
Well, I got my first bike was a Santi bike now, so it was it was a Santi bike now, and we swapped and changed and chopped and whatever was going. Basically, that's what you what you done.
Were there any choppers at all? Rally choppers?
Well, I don't remember the choppers now,
Maybe.
so I don't.
Regina
Probably
McCauley
would have
had a
been
chopper.
Regina
Regina
at the
McCauley.
time now.
That's right.
That was very, very exclusive, a chopper.
It was very exclusive. Mine was
Somebody
just
else had a
simple,
chopper?
very basic, simple bike. I can assure you. Yeah, but it done the job.
Yeah.
Got just made a bee.
I remember I got a bike one Christmas, and I think your bike that you got, Brenton, was maybe second hand at the time. They were all second hand.
Yeah, it was.
And I came down and there was this new bike, and it was a strange design too, you know. But anyway, I thought it was, of course, the bee's knees. Headed down the park, and there was Lisa McGonigal. She had got the same one. I wasn't so happy then. Didn't know what unisex meant either.
A friend of mine whose son wanted a bicycle, and he took him to see Santa Claus, and he said, look, he wants a bicycle, but try and talk about it.
Yeah.
So he says, what do you want for Christmas, son? He says, I want a bicycle. Oh, he says, I don't know if I can get that down the chimney. But he says, well, you got a billiard table down last year. So he looked at him, so there's nothing to say. But
was it amazing the freedom a bike would give you?
Oh, it was mighty.
You know,
so it was now.
When you're
Big time now,
12 or 13 years of age.
We were just regularly out about
Loch
Muck, like that was a big haunt too now,
Yeah.
Swimming regularly out there now, Definitely. Where you wouldn't be swimming
You
now, I don't think.
Go and raid an orchard with a bike out there. There was a
That's
couple
right.
of
There
good
was
orchards
an
out
orchard
that way, you know.
at the top of the old road on the road to the graveyard there, Jared, there was, yeah.
Drumrine,
I think
that's
that
right.
old apple tree's actually still there.
Uh-huh.
So it has now, yeah, and that was done regularly.
Yeah.
With the raiding the trees and the apple trees and whatnot, yeah, and Simpson's pear trees obviously too.
Right.
Yeah, that was a regular occurrence now.
Yeah, well, you look back in Irish history, actually the bicycle was the biggest change because people could leave their town lands and meet new people.
Right.
Years ago, before that,
Go a
you
bit
married
further.
someone within walking distance, really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You thought about it.
yeah.
Can you? And are there any characters that would kind of stand out? You know, growing up in O'Kane Park, is there anybody that you would, apart from the mystery man, of course, you know, anybody that feature in your memory?
Well, I remember basically Wally Kelly big time all the time. Wally was a great man with the slingshot or the catapult now. And he was into his pigeons big time. Mighty shot with the catapult now. And I mean, just whatever it is, Pat Noble sticks in my head as well. Has been a character about the park. Yeah, why, I really don't know. But 'cause they were probably a bit older than us. I think maybe that's what it was. But I just remember the two boys, and then you had the two O'Neills, which I had a lot of admiration for. You had Cookie and John were onto the boxing at that time. So I seen the boys fighting quite often. My father was involved in the boxing big time. So I would have went to Carrickmore to Fintna with my dad to watch the boxing. And the two O'Neills were just outstanding. It's like they were two Ulster champions actually, the two lads now. Basically, yeah. Both Ulster champions. And I'm sure you've heard the story where obviously it was, I think, an Ulster championship. And the two boys were in the final.
Yeah.
Two boys weren't fighting now, so they flicked the coin. And I can't remember who won the toss right enough, but no. They refused to fight, which would be right enough now. But now they would have been two outstanding characters now.
Where was the boxing club in Omagh?
Well, it was up in the Boys and Girls Club, basically, but the two boys I don't think fought out of there. As far as I know, they might have fought out of Carrickmore. Carrickmore was a very renowned boxing club.
Yeah.
A lot of the boys from Omagh and Kelly Clougher would have went to, was a man called Erwin Anderson.
I was just going to say that he was involved in training for years, yeah.
You had Mickey Bradley and Kelly Clougher, was a super boxer too, and there was another lad there as well.
Pat Ali. Do you remember Pat Ali?
I do mind Pat Ali very well. He was Carrickmore as well, yeah.
He was.
There was another lad from Kelly Clougher, I can't find his name.
Yeah.
He was another super boxer, but they all fought out of Carrickmore.
Mickey Bradley fought Barry McGuigan and beat him, I think.
He could have all right, and Mickey was an absolutely super boxer. So he was a great boxer. He really was. Yeah, the other boy was Sweeney. Can't find his first name. Him and Mickey were very good friends now, and the two boys were two super boxers, yeah. But whatever, but Erwin, he run a great club up there. So we did. Now, well, Paddy Crawford and Paddy Galeese was probably the two main Omagh men here. Had some good fighters as well.
That's right.
So that
You could probably trace that back to Fally Shields' time
probably
in the 50s,
right,
you know, in the Boys and Girls Club.
You could was right.
You know, that just shows you how things can reinvent themselves over years later and morph into something totally different. Yeah. He was a great community man at this time, I believe.
Community man, all right, he was. Fally Shields. He definitely was. Yeah.
What about the St Eugene's band? Were you ever involved in that at all? Or?
The boxing club?
No, St Eugene's, the silver band.
Well, I did, probably through school. I learned at the Brothers to play basically saxophone. We obviously started in clarinet first with a man called Jock Surrey, and then you just went on then from St Eugene's band. So joined the band probably was about 15. Brent Herbert was the main man there now. At that time, that was just up on the huts there behind the Christian Brothers Primary School, Declan. Yeah.
The manual room was called, wasn't it?
Oh no, I'm not too sure what that was actually called now. We used to go and eat our lunch in it.
That's right.
So whenever we were in primary school, that's what we called it, the lunchroom.
Yeah.
What it became the boys' club, wasn't it?
It was the Boys and Girls Club then.
Yes.
So it was now then. But at that time I used to get saxophone lessons from Pat Chester's, and that was really something special because he was playing with the Platterman. So it was great telling everybody that you were going up to Pat Chester's and getting and then I went to play with the Big Eight, I think maybe. Las Vegas, Brendan Boyer in the Big Eight. So whenever Pat came home, you got an odd lesson from him now, which was it was just something special. Now, to be truthful, it was indeed, yeah. And then you'd Ray Moore in the band as well at that time, and they were all the Plattermen, so it was something special to be sitting with them guys, playing music beside them now.
Yeah, for such a small rural town to have so much talent at one particular year.
Right.
That's unreal. Yeah. Just
Really and truly,
coming together, really, yeah.
The band was going well at that time as well now. Which was very well represented now, as it is today as well now.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Going very strong, it is indeed.
Well, what year did the community centre did it open up there? Didn't it? That's the same building, was it? Or?
It's basically was right, yes.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Because the band, obviously, the St Eugene's band would have played in the community centre regularly. Would have played regularly up there. Would have been probably the main haunt for them, basically. Yeah. That was a good venue too. So it was
The community centre?
Obviously the crowd was that older. Like I wasn't really.
I remember being in it a few times.
About it now. I would have been in playing on it or playing snooker on it, but as for entertainment wise, it was the same. It was a great venue.
It was almost like a working man's club, wasn't it? Right?
That's basically what it was. Is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a working man's club. It was indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the community centre, that was the old Brothers School, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. It was. It was up the stairs where our classrooms were.
That's right.
Yeah.
Up the steel stairs.
I was there for 6th year, 7th year with Dominic Michael Home. And brother Kelly was in the class beside us,
Leo.
basically. So that was the community centre, yeah.
Oh, Kelly's still alive. He's in Dublin now.
Who is?
Kelly, brother Kelly.
Is he still in Dublin? Is he? I think he must be some age then.
Well, in the late 80s anyhow.
Oh, he would have to be that in a big time, aye. But he didn't teach me now. I was Dominic taught me, Dominic Michael Holt, for the 2 years, yeah. Dominic taught me now, yeah. But it was just next door. It was just a glass partition, like that's what it consisted of, a glass partition.
Joe Hill, he would have been it. Would he have been St Eugenius band?
Joe did, yeah. Joe Hill. Well, so was Packy. Packy was a trumpet player,
and Jimmy as well.
and
That's
Jimmy
right.
was a bassoon player.
Yeah,
Joe was an absolutely brilliant piccolo player in his day.
that's right. Joe was in the show bands, wasn't he?
Joe
The
was. I don't know if Joe played the show bands or not.
Toreadors, I recall, maybe.
Who's that?
He was in the Toreadors.
Right,
They were
okay.
all dressed up as
Right.
Toreadors, would you believe?
Yeah, yeah.
And he did play the piccolo, wasn't he?
No, he did, yeah. I don't mind him playing the piccolo well, yeah. I do indeed.
Maybe
He was
play
a
the
good
tenor,
artist.
so. He was a
He
good
was.
artist too, Declan, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He
He was
was.
a good artist, is right now. And a shoemaker, obviously.
Oh, right,
Oh,
right.
well, he was a cobbler, big time. I think actually that was his main line of business. He worked with John
Oh, aye,
Taggart for
he
a
was. He
lifetime.
was a shoemaker. That's what
He was indeed, yeah.
That's right,
And he's a
was.
pair of boots he repaired
Right.
for the like of us. He did, surely, aye. He did,
Yeah.
yeah. He was a cobbler, is right now.
He resold the shoes for us, and he did.
He did, Gerard.
He
Or the
did
big
all
thing
that.
then was the heels and the tip stackling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had the black
Yes.
Bromby and the parallels and the docks. And you had to have the click slick.
The height of fashion, just, right?
And you just
Yeah.
weren't with it at all. You had,
Yeah.
the wee metal things in the back of the shoes now,
Right.
the black brogues. Yeah, oh yeah.
Could I ask you, Joe, where did your doesn't art begin? Was it an early childhood thing from you, was it?
I think probably the only thing I was good at, Don, to tell you the truth, you know. And I enjoyed it, you know. My uncle Lawrence did a bit of painting there. Lawrence Bradley was a barber in Bridge Street, and he would have painted, you know.
He would, that's
And
right,
I just
yeah, he
found
did.
that, you know, to be great to see people being able to do that, you know. Joe Hill did a wee bit too, you know.
Very good.
I remember when I was thinking about that, Brenton Drum used to work in the, he lived down the park, Brenton. He worked in the Herald office.
That's
and
right.
From time to time he'd bring me home a roll of newsprint, you know, and give me a bundle of pages, you know. Just called the house, Miss Bradley, give them the Gerard, you know. So that was great. You know, wee things like that were encouraging, weren't they, you know. He obviously went to the trouble of taking it off the road, chopping it down to whatever.
Cut it in the guillotine and get it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how little things like that can have a great influence in your life later on?
Uh-huh.
You're not even conscious at
Just
the
a wee
time.
simple kindness like that.
Yeah.
Can spark something.
Lawrence Roach, he would have been, our cousin Lawrence was artistic and creative.
That's right.
He lived down the bottom of the park originally as well, and I mean he didn't have a premises for his sign business, so it all came out of the back room.
Uh-huh.
And I remember the smell of plastic and resin and all sorts of pots and dripping stuff all over that back room. It was unreal, you know. We would have been down there from time to time, you know.
Yeah.
So
He was a teacher by profession as well, wasn't he?
he taught in the tech.
I remember, yeah,
Don't-
taught me at the tech, yeah.
He did. He taught in the
Did he,
tech,
right? Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been our first cousin, basically.
That's right.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. You know it's very well.
His mother was Jenny Bradley, one of the 16 or 17 that come out of
Right,
Abbey Street. You know.
okay.
He was one of the Abbey Street clan, is right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He lived down the Brookmount Road. That was at Michael Street.
Yes.
That's
Right. On Michael Street, is right.
That's
Yeah.
his the only house in the street. Is that
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His daughter's living there now, actually, Siobhan. Yeah.
Right.
So she's
know.
continued on the.
He tried to get it into the Guinness Book of Records a couple of times, you know. It's been the smallest street in Ireland.
Right.
But unsuccessful, you know. I'd love to have heard him when they told him that he was unsuccessful. Because if you've ever met him, you know,
Oh, yeah.
he could be vocal when he wanted to.
Oh, God.
Aye,
Yeah.
it's good.
He was a flamboyant character.
He was.
He was.
He was.
Yeah.
But for me, artistically, so I don't. Barry McCullough would have been my man when I got on up then, you know, and got up to St. Pat's, really, you know.
Yeah.
He took me under his wing and looked after me, you know, and kept things going, you know. And he painted himself, of course, but so that was great to see someone doing it again, you know.
Yeah.
So I like that. He even took me up to our college for my interview. Took a day off school, you know.
Barry did,
Barry drove me up. Not everybody would do that,
No.
you know.
Not a bit. Not a bit.
He knew I wouldn't have a chance of negotiating my way through Belfast, and he knew I'd get lost, you know. So he says, "I'll take you up," and he did.
Wasn't it?
So that was brilliant.
It must have been a culture shock to be in the art college after, you know, just leave Omagh and then suddenly it's
It was Declan. It
different
was.
world.
I do remember going up there and having to, you know, negotiating my way through the city buses, the Ulster buses. There was a bus depot down there and there was another one down there. I was trying to get to Jordanstown. Hadn't a clue where it was going, you know. But we managed and we got there, you know.
Yeah.
And it was still all security then too, you
As
know.
I said, it's the height of troubles, wasn't it,
The
really?
gates were all up still.
Yeah.
And there was a big Royal Avenue, there was a big police station there, heavily armoured, right in the middle of Royal Avenue, you know.
That's right.
So you were searched going in, searched going to the shops, you know.
That's right.
But
And then, you know, after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the place deserted. It was just, it was
it was
a
locked
horrible
up.
time, wasn't it?
It was a horrible time, that's right. When you go to Belfast now, you know, the comparison is, you know, it's just a real thriving, bustling city, and you can make the comparison, you know. It was dark and dismal when we were there, you know. It was. That was 1980, really, you know. But anyway, better times at the minute, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully, yes.
absolutely, absolutely.
Anyway, that boy that stole your singles or didn't leave them back, I had a story about him, you know, and I wasn't going to say who it was, but the main man, the mystery man, you were the main man, the lemonade man. I seen a job in the paper about 10 years ago, the main man, driver, you know, some job man. Because everybody loved to see the main man come on.
Yeah,
You get the big
exactly.
bottles and then the wee small bottles.
Oh, aye, we were sitting waiting patiently on a Saturday morning, like, for the main man. Telling you, big time, yeah.
He was a
Really were.
popular man now, I'll tell you.
He was very popular.
I can't remember what a wee bottle was, but I was like, was it 3D or 3P or something, you know?
Don't mind.
Yeah.
Is the main man still actually going, is he?
Well, I was surprised, you know. I don't know. As I say, that's about 10 years ago when they were advertising for a driver for
I
the main
think
man.
that is out the Cookstown Road.
They had a depot out there, the Cookstown Road, yeah.
Cumber Road or
Up
whatever
past,
you
up past Glendale, you know.
Aye.
Into the right there.
Right,
But
right,
whether
right.
it's there now or not, I don't know, but that's where
The
the
sign
main,
was
the
there.
main building was on it, yeah.
That's right.
He was definitely popular now. Yeah.
Now, listen, days you think of it, hey, when you look back
Uh-huh.
at it, you know, it was innocent, wasn't it?
Oh, this is big time. Yeah.
You know, but
Then there's a gallon up of the bottles too. Even
No,
just to
it's-
get the
Yeah.
sixpence on them. You used to go round to the old Campsie swimming pool.
yeah.
I don't know how much it was, but you know, you gathered up a couple of bottles, like, and for your 10 or 20p, whatever it was, like, to go swimming. If you didn't have to get the bottles, you didn't go swimming.
The empties.
Yeah, big time. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was the same with cinemas, same everything that
Nazis.
down through the years, that's the way it was. But it has changed so much. I'm not sure so much for the better either, but it's, I mean, it's
No.
not, no point looking back and but misty eyes about it. It was not wonderful in places, but I think you got a sense of your own value, didn't you, as a person?
Yeah.
You know, really.
Yeah, definitely. So
It was kind of a safer world, you know.
Back then?
It was back then in a
it's all
way.
very innocent.
It
actually.
was innocent and that and
You know, but the O'Kane Park playing was just the green and the music,
Yeah.
and it was just all so innocent
Aye.
compared to what it is now. Like, it's totally different. Like,
No.
so it is now. You know, obviously, you didn't have any technology or
yeah.
none of that then. Basically, now we used to go out to the fields, like, and sure, you mightn't have ate all day. You just never bothered coming home for your dinner. You were away. Your mother came out looking for you to see where the hell you were. You were away all day, basically. We're roaring at the top of our voice,
Aye.
like, to see where the hell you were for your dinner.
Whose house you were in? Yeah.
We were out for days and days and then weeks. Be God, before you wouldn't be in the house at all.
You know, like my I had a cousin in South Africa, and he said to me, Declan, he says, what's a corner boy? I says, a corner boy is a ne'er-do-well who stands at the corner. I says, why, my father used to call me a corner boy. Were there corner boys in O'Kane Park?
I think we were all corner boys. You know, we definitely were. We hung around.
We did.
You hung around. You didn't really want to. There was nothing in the house to keep you in the house, if you know what I mean. I mean, there was no telly worth talking about. You know, so out and about, the summers were the greatest time, sure.
Yeah.
Used to be great too when the winter came in and it got dark earlier for playing. We used to call it Jack with a flash lamp, you know.
Flash lamp was right, Jack.
You know, we had great games at running about at night too. Jail we played.
That's right, big
You
time.
know, there was a squad of maybe 20 of us, pick teams and away you go. And
That's right.
Dodge the Ball was a great game we had out there
Yeah.
too.
What about when I was growing up in, you used to come gaiters, or the soap boxes?
Oh yes, the trolleys.
The trolleys.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Oh,
No pram was safe. You can-
that's right.
yeah.
Oh, the trolleys were a thing, surely, Declan. They would
Yeah.
they seemed to come in like a fad, you know, and everybody would have a trolley,
Uh-huh.
you know, and then it would pass, you know.
Well, Tommy Muldoon was the expert at that, like. He
Tommy was
the
good
man.
at all those things, you
Tommy
know.
was good. Tommy had great hands on him.
Uh-huh.
So they had Tommy could just make whatever, like Mark mentioned earlier on tonight, the kites, like flying kites, like maybe with these wee dots in the sky, but these kites were maybe about 8 foot high.
That's right. He used to make massive
He
kites.
made
That's
them
right.
like out of balsa wood, brown paper, made them all like, and as a dot in the sky, basically up that high, basically. But when you got them down, they were about 8 foot high. Like Tommy was a mighty man now for the like of that, yeah, and still is to this day too. Great pair of hands on him now. So he has, yeah. Great pair of hands on him. He really has, yeah. Very inventive.
Remember in the plantation now, he put up a zip wire once, you
He
know,
did. Yeah.
and tightened it as much as good, and it was metal rope,
Steel
you know,
cable,
steel
Jerry.
cable, and
Yeah.
everything. And then he took the handlebars of a wee, you know, the wee child's trike, the wee three-wheeler. He took the handlebars on the front wheel,
Yeah.
and he took the tyre off the front wheel, so the groove on that would fit onto the zip wire. Up to the top of the hole, he ran. Whoa!
Wow.
Now he came off, you know, and I remember him coming down on a bad fall, you know. But he had an unbelievable sense of adventure on top of all the stuff that he could make, you know.
That's right, yeah.
But I mean, that was a crazy thing to be doing, you know.
Well,
I don't even think of it even, you know. I'll put a zip wire up there and I'll get the forks of a trike and I'll shoot down it, you know. Real action man he was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember him building a raft too for the one of the wee lakes, you know, out of bits of wood. Him and Harry,
That's
your
right.
brother. Aye.
That's-
So the boys had the dugout canoe and they had a raft, you know. They're trying to make their escape
Watching too much television. Yeah.
from O'Kane Park out to Lochmuck.
That's true.
My friend Brian Brogan used to celebrate a Thursday. He says a Thursday was Bin Day, Herald Day and Sounds Day. So what was required reading when you were a teenager
On
then?
top of the Pops.
Top of the Pops.
Thursday as well. Aye,
Yeah,
so
it
it was a good day. aye.
It was the big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds magazine was a big thing too now.
Mhm.
Yeah. You remember cutting a wee ad out of the Sounds and sending away for a T-Rex t-shirt.
Aye.
And getting up every morning and looking down the letterbox to see had the t-shirt come. I think it took about a fortnight for the t-shirt to come. When it did come, it was, there again, just thought was the bee's knees. Eh? And this T-Rex t-shirt. Like Dina McGard would even tell you the first time he came down to O'Kane Park, he says he seen me running about in a T-Rex t-shirt. He said a Mark Bolan t-shirt actually was. He says that's the first memory I would have of you in O'Kane
Right.
Park. Mark Bolan t-shirt, yeah. And that was out of a little clip out of the Sounds.
Right.
Suppose you went and your mother went and got a postal order, wherever it was, and away it went. Yeah.
And then you had Sounds and NME and Melody Maker. Were they with the three? Were there any other kind of music
Well, the girls
magazines?
were into the Jackie big time, weren't they?
Oh, that's right.
So they were. Now they had the big posters basically. And remember, Izzy and Bernie were into the posters big time.
That's right, Jackie. Well, I remember my sister's bedroom, the walls were plastered with the Indians.
Oh, fruit.
So she was an Indian
An Indian
fan,
fanatic was she?
you know,
aye?
and a Bay City ruler,
Yeah,
and that, you know, so
yeah, yeah.
it was a different era in music.
Definitely so.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, different era. That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it in the past, folks. Thanks very much for your chat. Much appreciated, Brendan. Jared.
Enjoyed that,
Wonderful.
mate.
Really good.
Good, isn't it?
Good.
Didn't know what to expect to tell you.
Once you start getting talking, it's just
What are we going to
Lovely.
talk about?
And many's the gay night, from dark to daylight, I spent with people of high renown. But with all their splendour and heaps to spend, sure, my mind would wander back to Omagh Town.